Hello everyone, my name is Yogesh and I am Chief People Consultant with Workx Middle East. Today I am going to share with you my secrets for saving millions of dirham for the organizations I have worked for and rising to one of the top positions in the organization with help of one skill that I learned from my career, and that I am going to share with you. And that skill is managing performance. In fact, first of all, we need to understand what is performance. Just think about it for a moment. How do you define performance? It is not an appraisal form. Believe me, it is also not what a supervisor says about his colleague or subordinate. What is performance then? Performance is achieving organizational goals through individual and team efforts. I'll repeat myself, performance is achieving organizational goals through individual and team efforts. So now the first question, if you really want to manage performance, is what are your organizational goals? Because if you don't have organizational goals, you can't manage performance. Have you seen an organization where if you ask the line managers, ask the supervisors, they will tell you that our team members, they are superstars. They get 80 out of 100. They get 9 out of 10. I mean, all of them. Is it possible? Of course not. Overall, the company is going into losses, and this department manager is saying, my team is filled with superhumans. Now, will that qualify as performance? And that's where we need to understand the real definition of performance. The real definition is achieving organizational goals. If there is no organizational goal, there is no performance management. So that's the first lesson. We need to understand what is organizational performance. And in order to understand organizational performance or setting organizational goals, you need to have the knowledge of certain tools like balanced scorecard, organizational goal setting, OKRs, KRAs, KPIs, etc. So this is the first thing that we need you to understand. It's all about achieving organizational goals. Of course, we need to align departmental goals and individual goals if you really want to implement a good performance management system. One of the important things to understand is the difference between perception management and performance management. In many organizations, we do perception management. Picture this. You see a highly engaged employee doing grocery shopping for his supervisor. What do you call it? Performance management or perception management? An employee that keeps his supervisor happy all the time in whatever way they can. For example, recently I heard one of my students saying that her manager, the director in this case, asked her to do something personal for him, which can be anything, using organizational resources for an individual's benefit. Of course, it's unethical, it's conflict of interest. Now, if she is not performing those duties, or if she is not performing that duty which was given by the supervisor, if you want to qualify it as duty, what do you think will be her rating in the year-end appraisals? And there are many such cases where an individual gets good rating just because they keep their supervisor happy, and which may be qualified as something which is unethical or something which is not aligned with organizational interests. All this happens in the lack of a good performance management.
This episode is brought to you by Workx Middle East, leaders in HR training and consulting. Upskill yourself with their diverse HR certification programs. Workx provides custom training solutions and innovative HR strategies. Their expert team also provides bespoke HR consulting solutions for its clients. To elevate your company's performance and employee satisfaction, visit their website www.workxglobal.com or workx.ae.
System. Second thing that I want you to understand is the objective of a performance management system. The objective of performance management system is to optimize human resources, and that is a big topic in itself. First of all, let's understand what is optimization. Optimization means putting something to its best use, the best possible return on investment on a resource is optimization. For example, you can optimize a phone when I use 100% of the battery or 100% of its memory or ability. I can optimize my laptop, I can optimize my suit by taking it through its limitations. Now, have you ever seen a human being being optimized 100%? And the answer is no. If you look at all the neuroscience research, brain research, you'll realize that it's nearly impossible to optimize a human resource. Hence, every organization needs to think how they can improve or increase return on investment when it comes to human capital. And this is where the performance management gets interesting. The role of performance management is not to evaluate people. Please remember this. And that's what most of the performance management tools do. They just evaluate people. That's what appraisal is all about. Evaluation. A, B, C, D, 7, 8, 9, 10 or 80, 90, 95, whatever way you use it. The purpose of performance management is not to evaluate people. The purpose of performance management is to make them perform. As lean organizations, they often call it lean management, where the job of a leader is to make people productive. And that's exactly the job of a good performance management system. So that is one, optimization of resources. Second, if you look at the latest research in employee engagement, and this question was asked to many HR professionals and line managers, what is the number one indicator of employee engagement, or what leads to employee engagement? HR Leadership Council came up with 4 answers. The number one driver of performance in organizations. So if we look at the research of HR Leadership Council, it states that the number one driver of employees or humans is having a good performance management system which is fair, aligned, optimized. Second is manager-employee interaction. Third is having informal feedback. And fourth, having a formal review. Now, I can easily put the last 2 in the first 2 categories because, of course, having a good performance management system means you have formal review system. And the second one, manager-employee interaction, which means it already includes the informal feedback between a manager and employee. So there are only 2 drivers of performance at your workplace. And number one is having the right performance management system. Number 2, manager-employee interaction. And if you see, many organizations, especially small and medium-sized organizations, they fail to see the importance of objectivity. They fail to see the importance of making a fair, consistent, and transparent performance management.
This episode is brought to you by Workx Middle East, leaders in HR training and consulting. Upskill yourself with their diverse HR certification programs. Workx provides custom training solutions and innovative HR strategies. Their expert team also provides bespoke HR consulting solutions for its clients. To elevate your company's performance and employee satisfaction, visit their website www.workxglobal.com or workx.ae.
System. So what a good performance management system looks like. So what is the definition of a good performance management system? I would say we are on a quest. And the quest is to find these 6 things. Number 1 is goal integration. Any performance management system which is aligned with organizational performance and organizational goals. Second will be looking at the past, present, and future of performance. Many times when it comes to performance management, we only consider the past performance. What happened 1 year ago? But what about the present performance? Picture this, you are a startup organization and you are just starting your journey. You are just trying to create a momentum. You are trying to somehow keep the ball rolling. Now in this case, if you hired a person who is not able to perform 100%, do you think we are going to pressurize this person and we are going to review his KRAs, KPIs very strictly, because there are no other systems working in parallel in an organization, because an organization is a composition of multiple departments. It's almost like an orchestra. Now if only one person is playing, you can't have the experience of full-fledged orchestra. That's why it is important that we consider not just the past performance but also the present performance, keeping in mind all the limitations that we may have in your organization, and also the future. Like in the case of startup, I might have an employee who is not performing right now, but I know if I reach to the point where the momentum is created and this person is trained, our products are developed, we have name in the market, we have some branding done, this person will start performing. So sometimes I have to consider the future as well. Third is objectivity. The biggest issue that you will find in performance management systems, especially the appraisals and, as I call it personally, perception management system, is lack of objectivity. Objectivity means even in the self-assessment and supervisor's assessment, there is similarity, which usually is not seen in subjective assessments. In subjective assessments, you will find supervisor giving maybe 50%, 60% rating, and the employee always expects 80 to 90%. So there is a huge gap there. Whereas when you have objectivity, the chances of having the self-assessment and the supervisor's assessment at the same level are really high, because it is highly objective. Fourth pillar of a good performance management system is motivation. It should be able to motivate people. And think about it, what motivates human beings? You may think, okay, salary motivates us. Of course, not true. Look at the hygiene theory. If you are an HR professional, you should know about it. Herzberg says that salary is just a hygiene factor. Money doesn't motivate people. Yes, for some, especially if you are not in HR, you might be surprised. But if you are in HR, and I assume that's why you're watching this, so you should know money is a hygiene factor. Lack of money, lack of salary demotivates a person, but presence of salary doesn't necessarily motivate a person. You can apply it in your own life. How many times you start dancing when you get your salary? I have never seen someone really happy because they got salary, because this is the minimum expectation anyone has. So then what is the role of performance management system in motivation? By being fair, by doing justice, by acknowledging good performance, which was proved by Elton Mayo when he was doing Hawthorne studies in 1927. Almost 100 years ago, he found that all you need to do is give attention, acknowledge performance, and you will improve performance. So this is how performance management systems, a good performance management system, motivates your employees. The fifth pillar of performance management system, transparency. As I already discussed, if my self-assessment and manager's assessment are similar, they reach nearly to the same point. They won't be exact in any case, but if they reach to the same level, which means there is a transparency. So by making it objective, you are naturally bringing in transparency as well. And the last pillar, the sixth pillar of a good performance management system is fairness. There is no rule by exception. You do not promote people because they are director's son, they are client's daughter, etc. So making it fair, and honoring your promise when you hired all these people, which is giving equal opportunities to all of them. So these are the 6 pillars, and the quest is to find a performance management system which is based on these 6 fundamental principles of good performance management system. So let's start our journey. Let's figure out what are the options in front of us. In this course, we are going to discuss in detail. We are going to go 3000 years back in history, and we will learn lessons from the history, and then we will evaluate the most modern performance management systems from Google, from Apple, like the case studies of Deloitte, Netflix, etc., and we will learn how we can design the perfect performance management system for your organization. Keep watching.